For as much as I talk about Star Wars, I don't think I've ever made a video on Grogu, aka Baby Yoda, which is a shock because he's definitely the most popular character in The Mandalorian, including The Mandalorian. So when this commenter asked me to explain the choice Luke Skywalker gave Grogu in the book of Boba Fett, you know I had to put my 2 cents in. Essentially what they want to know is, does Luke following the Jedi code when it comes to attachments make sense for his character? For those who don't know, the Jedi Order has a rule forbidding attachments. Some people have taken this to mean that Jedi aren't allowed to love or have relationships or care that deeply for others. So when Luke gave Grogu the choice of going back to Din Djarin or continuing his Jedi training, some people might have seen that as a step back. The idea being that if Anakin Skywalker's fam was directly linked to the Jedi's ban of attachments, then it makes no sense for Luke to have the same rule in his Jedi Order. But it's important to remember why attachments are forbidden in the first place. Because relationships themselves aren't the problem, it's whether or not you're able to train yourself to be able to let go of them. Contrary to popular belief, the Jedi Code does not ban romance outright. Vader didn't fall because he loved Padme. Vader fell because he was afraid to lose Padme. That sort of possessive attachment can definitely lead to somebody becoming corrupted. On the flip side, you have Luke Skywalker, who has friends, family, and allies who he cares deeply for. But even he flirted with the dark side when those very same people were threatened. This is why relationships aren't forbidden, attachment is forbidden. Being unable to keep yourself centered when those people are threatened. Being so afraid to lose them that you do anything to keep them. Luke understood that Grogu loved Din. That wasn't a problem. However, a lot of Jedi training involves mental maturity, and it will take many years before Grogu was at that point. By the time Grogu could say that he fully completed his training, Din might be long gone. Because Grogu, just like Yoda, has a long lifespan. He looks like a toddler, but he's over 50 years old. So he might not be done with his training until well after Din has bitten the dust. But this is where the changes between the old Jedi Order and Luke's Jedi Order comes into play. Because as soon as Luke recognizes the attachment, he offers Grogu a choice, not necessarily saying that attachment is bad, but that is just not conducive to Jedi training. This is 100% in keeping with Luke's character. He understands just how important relationships are, but he also knows that if you're not at a point in your life where you're able to healthily detach, then things can get a little bit messy. So no, this isn't a retcon. This is just Luke Skywalker being Luke Skywalker. I mean, hell, in a world where Obi-Wan Kenobi was doing the trench run with Duchess Satine and still allowed to be on the Jedi Council, I'm pretty sure it's fine. But as always, that's just my opinion, and as always, I want to hear from you guys. Do you think the Jedi's rule on attachment makes sense, and who's your favorite Jedi in Star Wars? Leave it in the comments, let me know.